Good morning to you, Premier. Firstly, what's the scoop on numbers today and a reopening of the border with Queensland?
I haven't got the final update for today yet, PK, but at midnight last night when I get my last report for the day, we had no cases on the board, so we anticipate another day of zero today. Look, I was texting Anastasia Palaszczuk throughout the day yesterday. We're confident that we'll get those borders open. Of course, I'd encourage people only to go to Queensland or to New South Wales unless they have to. There's lots of great ways to stay at home this Christmas and this summer and support Victorian businesses. But look, this is a triumph for the people of Victoria. We had a clear strategy. Everyone made sacrifices. We stayed the course, and now we've got no active cases, no new cases, a budget yesterday that's all about repair and healing, and that's only possible once you get the public health challenge under fundamental control, and that's the circumstances that we enjoy.
So an announcement today on Queensland borders and likely to be December 1, do you think?
I would think so. That's ultimately a matter for the Queensland government, and I'm not critical of the Queensland government. They've done what they had to do to protect their citizens, and we closed the South Australian border ourselves last week. This is all about a national strategy, but the time, I think, is fast approaching, if it hasn't already arrived, to get those borders open.
Yeah, well, we'll speak to the Queensland Premier in the program, so we'll post that to her as well, see whether we can get the scoop there. Now, I just wanted to ask you about issues from now. One of your priorities in the budget was trying to provide women with a chance to go back to work. We've also just had a discussion on the program about stopping violence against women. How hard has 2020 been for women in particular in the country's most locked down state?
Yeah, look, I think 2020 has been difficult across the board, but women have shouldered an enormous amount of that burden. That's why next year, free kinder, more money for the prevention of family violence, the biggest ever boost for social housing. It's very difficult, particularly for those women who are fleeing family violence, to build a new life unless you've got a stable roof over your head, and then that sense of security and certainty. So there's many different investments, from training, better support for early childhood, better support for cost of living as well. All of these pressures manifest in I think, a much more profound way often, not always, but often for women across our community. It's been a tough year, and part of the challenge here is to celebrate the strengths we've seen out of this pandemic, that sense of compassion for each other and our conviction to get this job done, but also to recognise the challenges that have been, weaknesses that have been exposed. And that's exactly what yesterday's budget did.
People are ready to hit the road. We know that. You only have to look at trying to book a place over Christmas around the state. It's almost impossible. So they are ready to pack up. And I know that yesterday your government sent out a warning about make sure you keep COVID in mind. What concerns do you have about the enormous movement of people throughout the state in the next month?
Yeah, look, even 25, 26 days of zero cases, PK, that's not the same as having a vaccine. So this is with us for the foreseeable future, and we have to be not normal, but COVID normal. And everything we do, in order to stay open, we have to stay safe. So there are parts everyone has to play, and it's all the usual stuff: washing your hands, coughing into the crook of your arm, not going anywhere if you've got symptoms other than to get tested and do it straight away. That's been a great strength of our response. The testing numbers are the highest in the country, and it gives us the most complete picture. We all want a summer. We all deserve that summer. We all deserve a Christmas with those that we love the most and those that we've missed the most. But we all have to play our part in remaining safe and remaining open.
Contact tracing has been a subject of a parliamentary inquiry this week. We've heard about the failures and the challenges. What significant changes in the recent months have you made to make Victorians confident that you can cope with contact tracing if anything should happen from now?
Well, look, I'd make the point that if you have as many cases as we had, any contact tracing system will be fundamentally overwhelmed. There are many countries around the world that stop contact tracing when they get more than 50 cases a day. We've made steady and consistent improvements. I want to thank Dr. Alan Finkel, the Chief Scientist out of the Commonwealth. He's been a great help to us. We've got new IT platforms. We've got many, many learnings. You don't go through a second wave and bring it under fundamental control as we have without learning things and improving things. But ultimately, it's on all of us to play our part. We're very confident that we can deal with the inevitable cases and outbreaks that will come, because that's the nature of this virus. But each of us have to play our part in that.
Yeah. And speaking of learnings, when will you announce a detailed plan around hotel quarantine for international passengers coming back to Melbourne?
So we've got international passengers coming back, 160 a day, so about 1,100 a week on the 7th of December. So before then, we'll have more to say about the detailed arrangements we've put in place, and we're very confident that they will be the appropriate arrangements to have those Aussies returning home, to have our city open again. But today's not the day for that, but we'll have more to say about that soon.
But do you have it all sorted? Did I hear earlier week you were flagging possibly having workers being positioned on site almost as a billet?
So we'll have... So to give you a sense of what I can say today, we'll have exclusive workforce, so they'll only work for us. They won't have any second jobs. We may well have groups, not necessarily every staff member, but some staff members who live at the actual hotel. Bit of a fly-in, fly-out type arrangement. We'll advance contact trace all those staff so we know who they live with, what the people they live with do for a living, so that we don't have people sharing a house, for instance, with someone who works in an aged care facility. All of that work, a lot of work has gone on to make sure that when the program's reset, it's safe, and I'm very confident that that's exactly what we'll be able to do.
Premier, thanks for your time this morning.